Here at Nomad Capitalist, we've been hearing from a lot of crypto investors and crypto traders who have been making a lot of money recently, both in capital gains and in income as crypto prices go through the roof. And that's a good thing. But with the increasing exposure of cryptocurrency means more governments are looking to regulate it. We're seeing countries with renewed pushes to make the lives of crypto investors difficult. And of course, there's the issue of rising taxes and new enforcement. So today, I'm going to share with you how to avoid crypto taxes and wealth grabs. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where they're treated best, everything from second passports, offshore structures, and investment opportunities overseas. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. Now let's talk about crypto. You know, one of the things that I've tried to comfort crypto investors with over the years during the dips is it's easier to leave your country when your assets aren't worth as much. You know, the interesting thing about being an investor, especially in the crypto space, is that unlike a business owner whose, businesses that I'm working with are generally going up in value or at least remaining stagnant, crypto fluctuates so often so that whether you want to leave your country or if you're an American, you want to totally divorce your country and expatriate, you can choose when you lock in, what your net worth is, what your assets are when you depart the country. Because we've seen more countries coming up with exit taxes. Americans have it when they give up their citizenship. Other countries now, many of them have it when you leave the country. You've got to pay a one-time capital gains tax on any of your unrealized capital gains. And how much money you have may also affect, in the case of Americans, your ability to continue to financially transact with family members or even to return to the country in the future. And so I think it's really important that if you have crypto and the prices are going up, to be aware of the fact that your tax liability is going up. Now, I've been called the goody two-shoes of the offshore business, sometimes in a nice way, sometimes in a not so nice way. And so my position is, what I see from people who have built huge crypto portfolios, $100 million and up, for example, is eventually people want to start taking some of their gains off the table and diversifying it into other stuff. They want to buy some properties around the world, live the nomad capitalist lifestyle. They want to buy a supercar, they want to buy a boat, whatever it is you want to buy. The challenge that I see with crypto becoming more widespread as insurance companies want to get it and everyone's piling in and raising these prices is you are going to have more and more people who are going to call for regulations, who are going to call for taxation. I remember being on the internet back in 1994, and back in those days, it felt much more libertarian. And I remember my father said, don't get too used to this, because we're pretty libertarian. And he said, eventually it's going to become widespread, and the masses will dictate. And the masses aren't nearly so libertarian. The masses are sheep, right? And so the wider adoption of crypto, the more that the sheep are going to dictate, where things go. Now, that being said, if you have money in crypto and you eventually want to take it out and buy a house in the United States or wherever it is that you live, and you live in a country that wants to tax your crypto or even in some cases make it outright illegal, then you're going to have a difficult time doing that. So it's one thing to have crypto on a ledger somewhere buried to the bottom of the ocean. It's another thing to take some of that out and say, all right, let me put it into the system. And, it's kind of like the mafia, how the IRS would nab the guys in the mafia. They'd say, this is a pretty nice $2.5 million house you have in New Jersey for a guy who, runs a small waste management company. Where'd you get the money? And they would get to them that way. And so, for me, two things come to mind. As Western governments impose more regulations and higher taxes and more enforcement of even the reporting of crypto holdings, my position as aforementioned goody two-shoes is I don't want to be living in fear and worried about running from the government. I just want to go where I'm treated best. And so I understand there are people in the crypto space who say, well, I just won't tell them. I'll keep it on a ledger. All right, well, you can live in a hut for the rest of your life because you never buy anything nice, right? Because you're living out the crypto. I don't want to live in an environment where I'm at odds with the government, right? I've known guys who, have car body detailing places, and they have the big safe filled with cash, and like everything's under the I don't want to be that guy. That's just me. If you want to be that, do whatever you want. But, I think what you're seeing in Western countries right now, like the US, is they're saying, we're going to start making people declare if they have crypto the same way we make them declare foreign bank accounts. In fact, one thing that came out from FinCEN recently in the US was, if you have offshore crypto holdings, which who knows how you define that, they might be pretty aggressive in how they define that. We're going to make you report it the same way you would report a foreign bank account. And so if you've got more than $10,000 in crypto, who knows where, we're going to make that reportable. And so do I want to file a tax return with the United States government every year and sign under penalty of perjury? No, I don't have any crypto. I don't want to do that. I don't want to know that, later my ex-wife or, my cousin Vinny or whoever else drops a dime on me. I just don't want to live that way. And as much as I don't agree with the tax policy, if you want to live there, it's like, okay, that's the tax policy. So my suggestion for the longest time has been, if no matter where you're from, have a second residence where you can go and live in a tax-friendly country. Have a second citizenship that doesn't bother you, right? It's not going to tax you extraterritorially. It's not going to impose wealth taxes on you. Have a residence, have a citizenship. They may be the same. They're probably going to be two different things, okay? And so if you're an American, then the idea would be you've got to decide. Do you want to live in Puerto Rico? Do you want to renounce your citizenship? There aren't really that many other, strategies that work for a wide, group of crypto investors who are, earning large capital gains, because the U.S. taxes your capital gains no matter where you live if it's from a passive source. And if you're trading, you could be a professional investor, but it's not really going to solve your problem in a big way in terms of tax. And so, for Americans, do you want to live in Puerto Rico or do you want to expatriate? And if you're going to expatriate, then you want to do that, or if you're just going to leave your country and become tax non-resident if it's some other country, you want to do that before the number becomes huge, because then you might get hit with this exit tax, right? And so what I see is, now that, crypto adoption is increasing, the government is coming out of the woodwork. Again, you see a couple countries that want to ban it outright, or that want to, restrict its use in commerce. Listen, if you think you're going to go to Walmart and buy a bunch of stuff in crypto, if the government says Walmart can't accept crypto, Walmart's going to listen to the government. They're not going to play along with your scheme to, pretend you don't have any money. Most of the businesses you want to buy stuff from are going to, listen. The people that you can buy a house from in crypto or buy a boat from in crypto, most of them are just going to go along with it, with whatever the government says. And so for me, this new requirement that they're trying to roll out, which is saying you have to report your crypto, that could be an issue. And what they're saying now is, more countries are trying to get unified on how they're going to tax crypto. It's not going to be in your benefit. And they're trying to put together an OECD standard of how we're going to tax this stuff. And the OECD is a lobbying group that basically gets high-tax countries more money. That's what they do. And they go out and shaming low-tax countries. And so I think that now is the time, I've said this for years, to go out and get your second residence and your second passport. And the reason I say that, I know some people say, well, it's X today, it'll be double, it'll be 2X in 6 months, I'll buy it then. Listen, it's hard to buy flood insurance when your town already has, the water is starting to fill up the town and the drains aren't draining, right? You got to be prepared in advance, because sometimes these laws come into place and they'll literally say, anyone who is qualified with these assets on this date is now part of the tax, even before the law passes. So they can just, literally just suck you in one day. And so I think living overseas is a good idea, especially for Americans, who I've heard from numerous Americans recently who can't even invest because they live in the U.S. in certain projects, in certain coins and everything else, because no one wants to touch an American. And so if they have a foreign residence and a foreign passport, that's a start, but then the taxes are still a problem. Get the second residence and get the second passport now. Listen, I know what it's like. I'm a business owner. I like to, watch my wealth grow like anyone else. But, I also believe in the power of insurance. As your crypto prices are worth a lot more, the dollarized prices of not only the legal fees and the service fees, but also the potential the donation for citizenship by investment, or the fees involved in getting residence somewhere, or buying a cheap house to qualify for residence, or whatever it is, they're getting lower and lower. Your crypto exposure is lower and lower. But your crypto exposure to taxes and all these new regulations is higher and higher. And so I believe it's time to get a plan in place to deal with those two things. Now, here at Nomad Capitalist, we offer a service where we work with people. We work with numerous crypto people. We have a decent amount of familiarity with crypto on the tax side and on the second citizenship side and on the second residence side. And we do that globally between where you live, where you want to live, and where your citizenship is. And we actually, have knowledge about crypto, which a lot of people in this space don't. And so we make plans for folks, and we've done that. But one thing I'm bringing back for folks who are doing really well in the crypto game right now, I'm talking, serious high-level crypto investors, is we're bringing back for the first time in almost 2 years a Nomad Capitalist Mastermind, where rather than working through the computer, rather than talking on Zoom or on Skype and communicating back and forth that way, we're actually going to meet up with you in person. And that's what I want to offer to 2 crypto investors or 2 investors in general today. I'm bringing together 2 of the senior members of my team along with myself, call it the Brain Trust. And we're going to have 2 Nomad Capitalist Masterminds where we're going to get together with you somewhere in the Americas, whether it's Mexico near our conference, Nomad Capitalist Live, whether it's in Colombia, where I have a home, or somewhere nearby. We're giving ourselves some flexibility in this era of travel chaos, but we will meet with you in person. I will fly in 2 of my most senior strategy team members, as well as myself, and we will sit down with you, and we'll spend a whole week working together for a good part of each day. And basically in the morning and in the early afternoon, we'll do some back and forth. We'll do questions. We'll go through everything that what you're doing, where you want to be. We'll bring our whole battery of questions. And you won't just be getting me, but you'll be getting 3 of us. And at night, we will go back and we will basically be coordinating with our global network and saying, all right, we know 90% of this, but let's just go confirm these things. Let's go talk to this guy, Let's make sure it all fits together, and let's get it all buttoned up and signed off on so that by the time the week is over, you're going to leave with an exact plan of what you need to do. And if you then want us to help you do it, you'll have the people who are actively involved in working with me at a high level execute on these plans, and they can tell you every timeline. They can tell you everything that's going on. So you're going to get the most up-to-date information in the real world. Not the sales pitch information you see online, but real world information about how long it takes to get X second citizenship. So if you need to get it quickly, as I've had a couple guys recently where they're like, I need to get it as fast as possible, they're going to actually know which passport is 2 weeks faster than the other one right now. And in the crypto space, 2 weeks can be a big difference in what your net worth is or what your income is that you're still paying tax on. So that's the opportunity. It's a Nomad Capitalist Mastermind with the full brain trust of myself and 2 of my senior most members. We're going to have it, whether it's in Mexico City, in Bogota, in Panama. We're going to be open to different locations, and we're going to meet with you for a whole week. Now, 3 of the top people at Nomad Capitalist, what is that worth? Obviously, I've had people on my team saying, Andrew, we don't have time for this. But I like this. And I remember I was inspired by I was watching Spectre, the James Bond movie recently. And James Bond goes to meet with a doctor in that beautiful place, I think it's the Swiss Alps. And I'm thinking, I want to do some meetings like this. So we're bringing back the mastermind. We're going to have it a beautiful space, and we'll sit down with you, and we'll do a beautiful meeting in a beautiful place. But obviously, what I'm taking away from is a lot. And so the price is only for very serious crypto investors and very serious entrepreneurs. It's an $80,000 commitment for the mastermind. And I've opened up 2 spots because, for the most part, I'm doing research, I'm working with our strategy team, and I'm working with people like you remotely. And that takes up most of my time. In addition, I've tried to kick back a little bit at my old age here and actually take a day off once in a while. And so that's the price. It's $80,000 commitment. You can certainly pay in any of your choice of cryptos, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's a stable, whatever you want to pay in. And so we will have 2 spots available for the first half of 2021, and from there we'll reevaluate and see. I have not done these for 2 years. We had a lot of success. I think now we're bringing in the Brain Trust, and so you're going to get more experience from someone who's actually managing a team of people who are executing cases, who knows exactly what documents you might be missing. She'll bring experience in terms of all the kind of on-the-ground stuff to make sure we're not going to waste any time whatsoever. Again, that's why I'm largely positioning this to crypto people, is because you waste 3 days getting a different document, that could literally cost you $50,000 in taxes, right? and then also bring a strategy, my tax strategy person, so we can make sure we're getting into every nook and cranny of what you're doing to make sure we have a bulletproof crypto savings plan. Too many crypto people, I think, are winging it because it's kind of been in the shadows and they're kind of like, oh, it's a gray area over here. I want to give you a solid plan that you know is going to work. Residence, citizenship, tax. If you want to talk about investments, if you want to talk about other things, if you want to set up some banking, if you're going to expatriate or move, you're going to need a tax residence. We can help you with that. It's a real holistic picture that's crypto friendly. We've done this before. You can certainly call us, and we can certainly do the plan. We've had quite a little bit of a we've been backed up for a while with doing plans remotely because we've just had so many people doing it. This is a way to kind of jump to the front of the line, meet with me in person, spend a whole week together. We'll have some fun, go out for a nice dinner or two. You can meet the Brain Trust, and we will spend a full week developing your plan and also working at our expense with our network. So when you're out enjoying yourself in the late afternoon and early evening, we will be putting in the work to make sure that everything is solid and that all of our planning is correct. And so to do that, of course, we'll be talking to you before you even come to start to get some juices flowing before we meet. Anyway, if you're interested, here's what you need to do. It's very simple. Simply send an email to help@nomadcapitalist.com. That's help@nomadcapitalist.com. Jovana or Katerina will get your email. They will send you some details. They will discuss it with you. They can get in a call if you want. This is obviously, again, only for people who are, of course, serious. That's how we roll here. But also, of course, people who are at a high level. I do not want to, take someone's last $80,000 just to meet in person. This is for someone who's at a very high level, who can get a solid return on investment. We can develop a great plan. And then from there, once we've developed it, we can talk about what does it take to implement. And I think we can get residences and passports probably faster than pretty much anyone else. Help@nomadcapitalist.com. That is the email. Would love to hear from you. These are the threats that I've been saying it since 2017, if not before. Everyone in crypto needs a residence and a passport. Even if you want to stay in your country and keep taking the slings and arrows, even if your country is crypto friendly for now, I've said everyone needs a residence and passport. The space is too new. They're constantly changing the laws. Things are going to change, and it's pretty much always going to be for worse. If you're in the U.S., forget it. It'll be worse. Canada, Australia, worse. If you're in, Lithuania, maybe it'll become better. But everywhere else, I think it'll become worse. That's why I'm doing this for folks. And I'm taking a whole week off, basically, to do this with one person, and then a second week off to do it with a second person. Help@nomadcapitalist.com. Look forward to hearing from some of you who would like to do this. Look forward to meeting with two of you. By the way, if you want to bring your wife, you want to bring your co-investor or business partner, you want to bring your whomever, we can do it, but it's just for you, just for your family, just for your group. So if you want to citizenship for two people, we'll do that too. Anyway, help@nomadcapitalist.com. That is the email address if you're interested. It's the first Nomad Capitalist Mastermind in quite a while. For the first time ever, you get more than just me. You get a team. We built a great team, and I'll be happy to bring them in. So that's what you do. And thanks to all the crypto investors for watching and for all your support. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.